take it, I am, as destiny. 22nd December, 1979. The I am makes you step away from reality. To realize don't take the body as yourself. No body, no name. Try to just be. That is your true self. At this moment, without taking yourself as body and name, can you describe yourself? This body is because of the 5 elements. The words flow and you say, my mind. This body and mind are not you. It is because of the 5 elements and 3 gunas and Purusha and Prakriti. In all, they are 10, and with the advent of these 10 comes about your beingness, the knowledge that you are, but you are not these 10. The 5 elements make up the body, while the 3 gunas make activity possible. When you know that they exist and you are separate from them, then you lose body-mind. When there is no body and mind, is one everything? Taking yourself to be the I amness as an individual entity is misery. This gone, you are all-pervasive and not confined to the body. No effort needed to understand? No effort. But because of your tendencies, you cannot remain without making efforts. Where is the effort required? You know that you are. You take food to sustain the body and its activities. That you came to know that you are is the misery. But the food cycle goes on. So unknowingly the effort goes on, although you may not want it to. This beingness is because of the 5 elements. You have no control, although you take food to be. Beingness comes spontaneously and will go spontaneously, yet you protect it, and so it continues. How did this beingness appear? This has appeared unknowingly. Did you make effort? What are you then? Because of the 5 elements, you know you are. Without them, you are not. So what are you? At the moment, take yourself to be the beingness. Don't separate it from the world. You, beingness, and the world are one. But you are not the body. You are because of your beingness, sattva. If it goes, the world goes. I have created the world? Yes, unknowingly you have created it, unknowingly and effortlessly will it go. Both are simultaneous. With beingness the world is. This beingness itself is the Bhagavan, the God. Why do you want to make effort? Why? It is because of Maya, the primary illusion. Your love for yourself is Maya, hence all the activities. All activities take place because you know you are. That itself is Maya, self-love. What is the difference between an ignorant man's activities and the activities of the sage? Self-love is the motivating factor in the case of the ignorant, while in the case of the jnani, in the absence of self-love, Maya, or the knowledge I am, there is no world. The jnani, who knows this reality, sees the world as a useless illusion, that's all. For jnani, knowledge has no form, no name, while the ignorant one considers himself as real. Because of your knowledge, all activities and all suffering will happen. All suffering is out of self-love. You love yourself, so you do Hatha Yoga. Does a jnani suffer? A jnani has no name or form, so who is there to suffer? Self-love is spontaneous. You cannot have control over it, yet you do everything for it. How have you come into this world? It is because of self-love. You cannot avoid it. You may think that you are the doer, but you are not. In reality, I don't suffer, so is it that I just think that I am suffering? Yes, you are not suffering, but you only think so. So there is this primary illusion, self-love or Maya. You cannot avoid it. Pain and pleasure are because of beingness. In its absence, do you have them? All experience is because of the beingness. Whatever it likes, it will do. It comes spontaneously and goes spontaneously. There is no control over suffering? No, as long as you consider yourself as the body. But I have no control over it. When you know that you are not the body, then you will not suffer. I will not suffer, but activities go on? The activities are not yours, but of the 5 elements. Even the manifestation of you are is because of that. Ignorance is also because of the 5 elements, so what control do I have? How do I get rid of ignorance? Don't try to get rid of it. Understand it, and it will go. Everything is spontaneous once you have the urge to be with yourself. Even the urge to understand ignorance should come spontaneously. The urge to come here, too, is spontaneous, though you think that you volitionally came. Spontaneously you will understand that you are the Absolute. There is no doubt about it. All this ignorance and everything is spontaneous, but in order to understand it requires some effort. The urge to come here is spontaneous. It drove you here, though you may think that you came here through volition. So what happens here? All this talk clicks to you, so you say, I have understood. Do I have no effort to make to get rid of ignorance? Nevertheless, you have the you are. You are not whatever you take yourself to be. You are all pervasive. I do have a part to play. What is it? Only be convinced that you cannot do anything. But your nature is such that although you have no choice, you will continue activity. Do sages have beingness? No. So when they do not know that they are, what can they do for others? Can you do anything? So the beingness is my suffering. Yes, worship the beingness, which is nothing but suffering. Worship misery, and it will become less and less. It will also help you to get rid of misery. This I am is itself misery. Make any use of it as you like. If you like, you may take it as prarabdha, destiny. Does Maharaj have a sense of I love? I don't need it. Love is all-pervasive. The whole world is an expression of I love. I am. But who loves? It is the love itself. Because there is no I, there is no I love. The one who still has a personality can be caught, but I am all-pervasive. How can you catch me? That entity which is born must insist for knowledge. Otherwise you cannot have it. You ask questions. Whatever I know, you know as well. Since when has beingness appeared? Have you given attention to it? To get this knowledge, people don't go to the source from where it has begun. They should go back and see how it happened. Go to the beginning to understand the end. What is a sample of your knowledge? The knowledge of the world. My experience is as if my body is on fire. It's not well, hence the doctor. The doctor will understand what. It is better to experience it. How is it happening? Is it a quality? Is it because of self-knowledge? You can say what you like. Still, I feel no pain. I do not have sufficient strength to sit up. But when I sit up, I talk. I have no desire for anything. Only Krishna has said, I am everything. My beingness means everything. Krishna said, what you see is myself. Worship that, because everything is my form. Yogis who have lived long have suffered because of concepts. What could they do about creation and destruction? All activities are because of the 5 elements. What control can one have over them? Some say they will be back in the next birth. I don't. Whatever you see is myself. I am there, always. Beingness is because of the play of the 5 elements. Beingness itself is misery. In the realm of consciousness, there are no rules. The poor become rich and the rich become poor. You cannot say anything. Mind cannot interpret you. 24th December, 1979. The one who knows has no attributes, is Parabrahman. Does light appear when one knows Brahman? Prior to seeing light, you might be there. What is the quality of the gunas? Is it sattva, witnessing? Rajas, activity? Tamas, I have done the activity? All are the names of sattva. Because of it you are. Sattva is the I am. Rajas, the tendencies towards activity or work, and tamas is to take account of or say, I have done this. All three have no form. They are formless. Throughout you have considered yourself to be as something or other, but it did not last. Name and form will go. You are that entity which is going to leave the body. You are not the body. Whatever you take yourself to be, you are not that. The I am is time-bound, while what we really are is eternal. Your beingness is the flame. No gas, no flame. The knowledge I am is because of food. I am like this or like that, in appearance, etc. Nothing is going to be with you. Even your memory will fail. What are you then? Whatever you presently consider yourself to be, you are not that. Taking yourself as something should give you permanent happiness, like being a young man. You try to sustain it, but you just cannot. Beingness is the result of sattva. But when you are old, sattva too disappears. The I am is time-bound. It creates time. Is there a difference between chronological and psychological time? The I am or beingness is equated with time, the sun, they are one. Beingness is the sun of knowledge. It is itself time or sun. Chronological time and psychological time as I am, is it one? There's no difference. You have memory of the body, I don't. I am the body, that is your memory. Body memory is the sugar coating of happiness, which ultimately proves to be painful. The difference between chronological and psychological time as I see it, is it correct? If you are not, where's the sun and the time derived from? Realize that this entire universe or manifestation is the skin and hide of your beingness, the skin of your illumination. All manifestation is your expression. You are. The truth of what is distorted by past memory. What do you mean by past memory? If you are, then there is the question of the past. Between you, I amness, and the consciousness, what is the relationship? The I am varies from time to time, feeling good, bad, and so forth. There is no difference in the types of I amness. I experience fatigue now, good health earlier, but the common factor is beingness which has not changed. All is illusion. The I am is knowledge, but it's also an illusion. Say what you like, nothing prevails, except the knowledge you are. You presume that the world has existed without your beingness. Your world is with your arrival, not prior to it. If you are not, your world is not. Ajani is satisfied in eternity. Beingness is the seed of manifestation. The ignorant one thinks that the world was, and I am a fragment in it. But the jnani knows that it is a creation of the beingness. Your manifest world means you are, and you are means your manifest world. Beingness means the self-knowledge I am. No mane, no lion. The world cannot be prior to your beingness. When your own beingness manifests, there is the world. You try to interpret my exposition. You don't assimilate what I say. Become manifest. You receive so many inclinations, but rarely somebody stays put in the message I am, all carried away by the mind. This is human nature. The primary message or vritti, mind inclination, is the I am. The flow of words is inside the mind, a movement in the head. One gets carried away. Take a firm stand that the mind cannot interpret you. What mind says is not you. Don't be dictated by the mind. You are not the mind. The mind takes you for a ride. You feel you are going for a ride? Your mind inclinations want to enjoy. You say, I want to enjoy. The mind, being the servant, will work as I am. What is the necessity of the mind for you? To be my servant. When in deep sleep, do you require the mind? What is it to be awake? Means not to be awake. Is to be truly awake. Is there real and unreal waking? By waking, I mean as you are, the Absolute. Without effort, whatever you are, you are. With effort, you cause a stirring. That's why you are not your natural you are. Is there difference between observing and analyzing? The talk about myself is the talk about yourself. Let any worthy one reach to any heights anywhere, but it is time-bound. Any height, it is just a passage of time. Time means the sun. The world is because of it, beingness. The sum total means you are. Beingness only. When the knowledge I am sets, the world is liquidated. Nivritti, no message, I am. By nature, originally and primarily, your state is of no being. Incidentally, there is beingness. When you don't dwell in beingness, then you are in body-mind. Presently, whatever ideas occur will be your knowledge. There is no necessity for learning more skills. Whatever is, let it be. Just dwell in that beingness. Whatever I say relates to me, not society or people. The knowledge is for me. If you want to share it, you are welcome, provided you can endure it. Right now, you just listen. You may not assimilate at once, so just be. Despite of all this, you like to roam about and please your mind inclinations. The trouble is that you have made the hunger of the mind your hunger. You claim it as yours. Understand it, and the mind will keep quiet. The mind is itching to see new countries and towns. You are habituated to go by the mind. But from now onwards, whatever the mind says does not relate to me. Form this new habit and the mind will be quiet, and then you would want to be by yourself. Then thoughts occur and you go wool gathering. Tell your mind to go away. Even while taking food, you are thinking of others. You may consume delicacies, and you wouldn't know. Many sit for meditation, but ideas come and they try to fight these. It happens because you firmly identify with your mind-body. Then what should I do? Remind myself that I have no body-mind? Is it necessary to remind yourself that you are sitting here? Make it a practice. Gradually develop it. No body, no mind. The Beingness Dynasty, 25th December, 1979. When you get the knowledge, your identity, caste, creed, and the rest must go. This reality, your beingness, gives rise to the world. Know what you are not, and then what you know remains. What do you mean by negation? I believe that if I see myself, I see the untruth of it. It's negation through seeing the false as false. You have to understand the Guru's words, understand beingness. Know that the world is a result of your beingness. So to understand, you have to be Ishwara. Meditate to be Ishwara. What are the guidelines? But I have already told you, you are Ishwara. You have to have the conviction that I am that. a mental determination. With the appearance of the knowledge I am appears the space and the four other elements. Your beingness gives rise to them. First beingness, then others. The spirituality that you see around is simply activity, mere entertainment. To know that beingness is the parent of the five elemental world is spirituality. The relationship of the beingness and the world is that of the parents and the family. Someone dies with the conviction that the whole world is my beingness. What will happen? The concept of man and woman will remain, and you will die with it. Finally, you are not even the beingness. When you identify with it and stabilize in the beingness, you are not even that. In the knowledge of the jnani, or the Absolute, the world is all a spectacle. The jnani is apart from the knowledge I am. Whatever is observed is not real. Whatever I think is not me. What I am must be pure consciousness. With the help of the beingness, a people, you can see right from the blade of grass up to Brahman. But the beingness cannot understand the Absolute because the Absolute is beyond the being and non-being. Beingness and the Absolute are not parts of the same thing as themselves. They are untouchables. Attention is the process of unloading the container and again loading it up with knowledge, but not of the unknown, the Absolute. The Absolute does not know itself. Just get rid of all concepts. Right from childhood you acquire information or skills. What is the basis behind memory? Understand the beingness, but you get caught up in concepts and memory. You are that only. Prior to them, concepts and memory is the I am. Further still, when you recede, is the Absolute. But most people die with memory and concepts. Who understands that memory is not operating today? It's the knowledge, I am. Surrender to the beingness. From it all movement happens. Go to the source of the movement, which is the beingness. Hammer it into yourself that your own beingness is the parent of the entire manifestation. Beingness will help you in abiding in itself. Beingness is observed by the ultimate, the Absolute, that has no senses, no eyes, but witnessing just happens. I am introducing you to your own beingness. The first stage is to meditate on the beingness. Abide in it. Note: Maharaj's state is that of witnessing the beingness from the Absolute standpoint. This is the state of one who has realized the beingness and transcended it. Visitor: remind oneself of it constantly? Just retain it in memory. It's of no use unless you are that. I am lost in different activities. I need to remind myself. Did you go forward in activity to recede? As it is, you are already your true self. So where is the question of receding? What is the use of food? To sustain the body. Similarly, a mantra is to sustain yourself. What does that mean? When you go into that province, you will understand. Not now. In a foreign country, you are told that the Bombay City coast is crooked. How will you understand that? Everybody listens, few practice. 26th December, 1979. Use thought to get rid of thoughts. Visitor: step away and look as they occur and know that I am not these. Just like people who come here, to some I say go, so also for your thoughts. Some are of no use, so send them away, retain the useful ones. If you get a wrong telephone call, you say so and put down the phone. Similarly, don't entertain unwanted thoughts. Don't entertain them, but do give attention to them. Make it a habit. Reject unwanted thoughts by giving them attention. Then it becomes natural. Since childhood, the mind-body gets engrossed in unwanted thoughts. Form a good habit. This information is not given by other jhanis. They confuse by saying that the mind is this or that. Should one replace negative thoughts with positive ones? Yes, say you have one thought, I am not a person, replace it with I am formless. Whenever any thought occurs, the talk begins in the mind. Yes, so send back the thought. Thoughts imply the body. Instead of saying so, say that it has effect on sattva. The best is to be with no thoughts. If that is not possible, chant the mantra. It will spread all over the body through the 5 vital breaths. A sadhu has no tendency or inclinations. His individuality has dissolved. Faith in Guru's word is faith in oneself. It automatically changes one. You can identify it with Guru when the form dissolves. Mind has no form. Intellect has no form. And you are the knower of these. How can you have form? That you are formless must be a conviction. Don't identify with anything. To identify with anything is bondage. Actually, there is no difference between the disciple and the guru. If a guru is not liberated, so would be the disciple. Whenever one contemplates in terms of his identity, progress is there. One reaches where the guru is. With whatever concepts you hold on, you go to a guru. If he is a jhani, he gets rid of all your concepts. And what is the main concept on which all depends? It's the I am. The I am is itself a concept. It is a basic source from which all other concepts flow. Getting a firm conviction about yourself is to become a Sadguru, the one beyond the I am. Whatever is termed Parabrahman, the Absolute, is your true self. As long as one sees the Guru as a form, the Guru will give concepts to cling on to. For example, the Guru says, you are the Parabrahman. That is a concept. Yes, but this concept helps to get rid of all other concepts, using it when he, the disciple, gets rid of all the concepts. This concept, too, will dissolve. For the disciple, what the Guru says is a concept, but it will go with meditation. One looks at the flowers here and oneself. What is the difference? Because of the Absolute, you come to know that you are. It is the truth which knows. In that knowingness is the universe itself. That knowingness is all-pervasive. Normally we think that we are individuals. That doesn't change sometimes, and the changeless knows this. Many people don't change, but one who assimilates knowledge, in him the change comes by. The normal tendency is to think of oneself as the body, so there are relations and associations. As an individual, you want to prosper, and one is not prepared to change. One has to understand the reality of oneself. It cannot be just told. I know I am not the body. That's my realization. Thus, there has to be a conviction about it. Conviction comes from it. Everybody listens. Few practice. It's very simple, but terribly complicated. I have seen that for many it is very difficult to cut out the concepts. It is easier to cut space. Here, whatever you will listen to, according to that, changes would take place. One has to be open, concept-less. Yes, if you have no faith in one who imparts knowledge, then you gain nothing. Kick the thoughts out. 27th December, 1979. Why should it affect us when someone does something? Because we think we are separate. In this world there are many animals. Are you affected by them? But with humans we are affected. With self-knowledge you will not be affected. As long as you don't know yourself, you are affected by others. Presently there is one, Babaji, in Bombay, Some people visited him. I didn't because I know myself. What he is, I know. What he is, I know while sitting here. So no necessity to go. Even if the Lord Krishna comes again and he is just 2 miles away, I won't go to meet him, that entity called Krishna. I know. Know yourself, and you know the world. Find out what one is. There is no difference. Only the activities and tendencies of people change. Whatever Lord Dattatreya did, I need to do now. Only times change and activities change. Activities happen because of the 3 gunas. Note: sometimes disciples of other teachers come to Maharaj. He doesn't like to criticize anybody, although he knows the reality. Still, he advises them to follow their own guru. He tells them, my knowledge is about how beingness appeared. The same is applicable to others. Krishna was exactly the image of his parents, Vasudeva and Devaki. They cried for Krishna and died ignorant, but their son became realized. Remember the words of your guru and meditate on them. I had faith in my guru's words. I am that. I need not quote anyone else. I have looked into how I was before the beingness and how I shall be later. All this has happened with faith in my guru's words. I find no flaws in other religions. They are just concepts, so why criticize them? My parents did not know me, nor did I know them. Still, I am as I am. I was accused of birth, but I found out that there is no birth. Don't criticize others. Only know yourself, and spend time on yourself to know yourself. How to get rid of useless thoughts? Like wrong telephonic calls. Disconnect useless thoughts. Don't entertain them. Make use of useful ones and then be free of thoughts as far as possible. You get engrossed in memories. Be attentive. Say, go. I don't want you. With practice, it is possible to be free of thoughts. Your own thoughts become an obstacle in your spiritual progress. That is why we come here. It is easier to think of him than phones. Whatever I say, I have practiced. I, too, used to get thoughts, but I remembered what my guru said. You are, so just be. I am least worried about others. I am concerned with myself. Treat thoughts like one would treat a person. Ask them to go. When relaxed, the thoughts come and complain. Who complains about others? They are your own thoughts. Just kick them out. How easy? Yes, but with practice. You become your own enemy because of your own thoughts. Knowledge has no form. 28th December 1979. All sciences depend on assumptions, but whatever happens, happens spontaneously. There is no creator. What are you without beingness? Beingness is because of the sattva guna quality. Because of the earth, various body forms come to be out of the 5 elemental combinations. If a patient is unable to sleep or lacks appetite, he is given appropriate medicines. These pills are also food material. Countless body forms are the consequence of the 5 elemental frictions in outer space. Their behavior and activities are decided out there, but their impact is felt on the earth. Hitler's actions were because of whatever happened in space prior to his birth. The individual soul is because of the body and because of knowingness. One has to suffer. There is no question of merit or sin. An individual suffers because of knowingness. One who writes about science, where is he positioned? He does not know anything. What triggers whatever happens outside? There is friction among the 5 elements, and because of it the body forms suffer. Whatever happens in space is because of elements. But I am Nisarga, nature, that is, no parents. Normally it is said Ishvara created the world, but one animal is food for another. Will God do this nonsense? As you sow, so you reap. This is said only to discipline the people. The 5 elements do not understand any control or discipline. They cannot be taught. Desire begins with the 5 elements or with the body. To all forms we give names to attribute meaning on the spot. In reality, there is no one. No one has control over whatever happens. It is happening. That is all. Even speech has form. Ishvara has no form. In every atom, there is Krishna. Bombay is just an area. Is this part of Bombay that part of Bombay? Ishvara is like that. Changes take place because of tendencies in the sattva, which is the quintessence of food. No individual, no tendencies. The essence of food is sattva, and in it sprouts that knowledge, I am. And from it issues the mind. So there are just tendencies and traits. The qualities of sattva change with forms, and accordingly the mind flows. Take the instance of biscuits. In those biscuits there are pores, whose number and structure depends on the material baked. Do you have control over pores? Thus, according to the sattva, the activity happens. Pinpoint the entity that takes birth. As form appears, beingness appears. You cannot name any entity that appears. Knowingness appears. That is all. With the form, waking, sleep, and knowingness appear. The birth is that of consciousness. You are here now, and say you come back after 15 years. Meanwhile, who is going to run the show? Jnana, knowledge has no form, no nature. The knowledge I am, the 5 elements, 3 gunas, Purusha, Prakriti, the Jnani, is none of these. He has transcended all of them. He is the knower of knowledge, with the end of body and all problems. This body is just to know that one is not the body. Beingness is similar to the sweetness in the sugar. Who is God and who is devotee? None of them exist. Has Maharaj seen Akashic space records in meditation? Seen villages and towns in India in meditation? Words form the question, and words form the reply. On the spot there is nothing. So long as the body is there, is the you are. If you are is not there, God won't be there. When your beingness was not there, did you know God? I don't know. Whatever you presently know is false. If the I am is there, Ishvara is there. The I am is Ishvara's soul, and Ishvara is my soul. Both exist together. Ishvara is without limits. I am also like that, like Ishvara, penniless. Now just forget everything and find out how you will be on a permanent basis. All this talk of God and yourself is just for killing time. Go ahead, no God, no I, as long as you have cravings. Knowledge will not be yours. Ishvara dies before me. Maharaj equates Ishvara with Brahman. Ishvara, God, Brahman, Parabrahman, all these are only words. There is nothing in them. Note, Parabrahman is the absolute, where beingness is absent. All fear is because of death, because of which you go around pleasing others. Once you know the reality, there is no fear. A man dies, and so a corpse can be seen. Have you seen a corpse of fire or Ishvara? All things are in movement. Beingness is public because of manifestation. The 5 elements are public. What is your identity after death? Everything exists at the moment only like you. Nothing has any identity. If you have no identity, what good or bad can happen to you? Do you have a form which will fit you eternally? No? Then why are you struggling so much? No form now, nor later, so why bother? Because I am like nature, this knowledge is open to all, and you can't get it from others because they have a prestige at stake. They just want a following. Nobody can solve your riddles except those who know themselves and have no interest in beingness. What do I need now? Except for beingness, everything will do, in short. I do not want anything.